let's get into our Monster Hunter Stories 2 impressions. I think so. Karada, you haven't been playing the game proper, but you did touch the demo, so you do have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can start it off with anything because I did like the demo. I love the music. I did not expect to love as much. That first I guess the Monster Hunter theme of the game. I was like, wow. I listened to it and I was genuinely super impressed. I love the vibe that it gave. It wasn't like such a like the challenging suspense drama thing you get for like GU or Rise.
Yeah.
But it's more like lighthearted and fun, which I really like. And
Yeah.
the thing I remember was the in GU we had the little theater section as well, and they also had the stories like I guess the opening for stories in like the game I guess cinematic in
Oh.
there, and I spent like a whole 30 minutes watching all of them, but when I got to the stories one, I was absolutely blown away by the first stories. The second one so far has been really cool. I like the characters and stuff, and I actually bought the collector's edition, so I have like for audio listeners, I'm holding up the pin right now. It's like a you know the kinship sign, that little eagle looking thing. It's like this gold little pin. I can't really
Put your hand
Okay.
in front of it like this,
Oh yeah,
like behind
like
it.
this.
Yeah. There you go.
Like this, like a Go-Go Power Ranger thing going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it comes with a little like golden pin with that like bird symbol, which is really neat. Um, I did get the Razewing Rathalos amiibo, and that looks pretty
amiibo,
good.
that looks nice.
I actually
That
really
looks
like
really
this one a
nice.
lot. Let me
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
one is actually really neat with like all the different like characteristics and seeing like how the wings actually are very different than how I thought they would be. I really like it. And then what the crap did they call her? The Wyverian Zelda? Was it Eno or something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
She's also here. I have here as well for like the for the amiibos and stuff,
Oh,
which is
she's
really
holding an
cool.
egg. That's nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And there's some
Mhm.
the DLC that comes with the like the deluxe kit for the stories too. Stuff is really neat. For the layered and stuff armor, I'm really excited for just to see what they look like, and I guess there's stickers too. Um, oh, I'm an idiot. There are stickers that I got with this collector's edition. But I think I'm not gonna look at them right now because I don't want to like spoil what's in the game for me, like what monsters are gonna be around.
That's fair. Yeah.
Um, I like the demo though. It was a lot of fun. I think that I was coming in here expecting like the usual Monster Hunter vibe of like run in and hit things, and then I ran in, and before I got to hit anything, it was just Pokemon moves that were like really
Wait,
cool. But it was like a
so
weapon triangle, which I liked. But it was just kind of like
did you actually think that Monster Hunter Stories was like just run up and like kind of like more of an
like
action
an
game?
open world thing, and then you fight. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I had like one idea in mind, but I forgot. Like I used to look into stories and like check
Yeah,
out
no.
like the tower system in the first one, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a weapon triangle.
Yeah,
But this game you can customize the moves and the typing, and I was like,
It's
oh
the Monster Hunter
Yeah.
version of the creature collector, like Pokemon, Digimon, Yokai Watch,
mm-mm.
SMT,
So
that sort of thing.
I understand the gimmick for it and like the appeal. And I was like, you know what? I could get into this. Like I haven't been super into Pokemon. Like I played the Shield for a while on stream and stuff, but I didn't finish all the gyms. And then when then some like Ice Tundra event came out, I was like, oh, this is kind of fun, like running these raids like in some cave or some crap, just back and forth with like a group of 3 or 4 people or some crap. That was a lot of fun. Um but like, when I first tried this game, I expected one thing. So it was definitely different than I thought it would be, but I'm actually very excited to see what the story has to offer. And then later on, I'm probably gonna double dip for the
PC
for the
version.
nice PC.
Yeah.
The
I've been
look,
playing the PC version. I think Forrest has been
Mhm.
playing the Switch version though. How far are
Yep.
you, Forrest?
Apparently I just got to the end of the demo,
Okay.
so I never actually played the demo.
Can you bring over the demo stuff to the
Yep.
main
Yep.
game, or
Yeah,
is it
that's
okay?
one of the cool things about that demo, and I've been noticing it a lot on the Switch. Is that like with the Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity demo, they let you carry over your progress as well. So it's like it's
Yeah.
cool. It's like an early access sort of thing, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, no, I've been enjoying it a lot on the Switch. I mainly got it
Did
on the
that too.
I mainly got it on the Switch because I like to have all my Monster Hunters in one place. Obviously, World is a little bit different, but I don't know.
You,
I kind of
you get all the crossover stuff with Rise too, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I kind of just like to be able to close Monster Hunter stories and then swap over to Rise and then like back and forth, Just for me personally. It's
Hmm.
not that I'm like really a portable player. My Switch is actually not left its stock in like over a year now. But yeah, I don't know. It's just yeah.
That's
I like
that's actually kind of the norm I hear a lot with Switches is that like people just keep them in those docks and they just stay there for like until the end of time.
Do you
yeah,
like
I
the digital, by the way, for the digital or the physical copy for, like,
I
say
got the
for stories
digital.
and okay, okay.
Hmm.
I was just
Yeah,
wondering if you guys like that any better.
I like getting the physical copy sometimes, but it really depends on the game and just I don't know. On top of that, it's sometimes like it's just easier to get the digital
Yeah, for Monster
instead
Hunter,
of
it's just
just
like one of those games that I wanted, like, the
yeah.
physical stuff for it. That's why I always get the collectors for Monster Hunter. Minus Iceborne. I don't want to buy World and Iceborne again just for a statue, although the statues are nice. But I just didn't want to do it to myself again.
Yeah.
Of course,
But
So
I
like
was
Japan got the bomb ass
uh,
Palamute Rise plushie.
yeah,
And
I'm
then,
so jealous. I
yeah.
still want one.
I
It's so
know.
cute.
I know. I want one too. But yeah.
So how's the performance been for you on the Switch?
Frames. Oh boy.
Is it actually that
um,
bad?
there's some parts that are a little bit like, okay, it's chugging along. It's making me feel a little bit sick.
Hmm. So it's like
I
so
actually
is it mostly like the frame pacing being inconsistent or is it like a
yeah.
okay.
It
Yeesh.
like when I so I play in obviously I play in TV mode.
Mhm.
I actually when I rated someone the other day, she actually told me that she originally started on Switch, but immediately had to switch to a PC because the game was making her actually feel nauseous and like
Mhm.
she couldn't play it.
Really?
Yeah, like she literally could not play it.
Hmm.
That's the reason I stopped playing Age of Calamity on Switch.
Really? I
Yeah,
didn't have
Is
a
Calamity on Steam?
on Switch.
Is it on Steam? Is
No,
that
no,
where
no,
you're
no,
gonna?
no.
no
So
no
which
no.
Sorry,
means
I
So
the whole PC,
yeah,
thing.
which means I just stopped playing the game altogether.
I
Yeah,
mean
sorry, I just
I
wanted to make sure.
I played the game all the way through. I didn't really have problems with
Mhm.
there was only like maybe one or two parts where it was like if there's like a huge boss and I'm doing like a really big move and there's like other different characters there as well doing their own stuff, like that's the
Mhm.
only time I really found the frames to be kind of bad. But like I don't know. I mean, the frames aren't really at a point where it's like I don't want to play the game. It's just something that I notice, but like it doesn't turn me off from the game.
Right. It doesn't affect like the core game mechanics or anything.
At least for me.
Mhm.
I totally get it though for other people that are going to
Yeah.
be bugged by that because it's like we're so spoiled by well, I wouldn't say spoiled, but it's like we're so used to like games running at a decent frame rate now, especially on PC.
Well,
It's
So
not a bad thing.
no.
I hold games to like a baseline standard when it comes to optimization on hardware.
Yeah.
And I want to play the best version of a
No,
game
yeah,
whenever
and I'm not
possible.
saying
Yeah.
that like I shouldn't have said spoiled because it's like again, like
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
good
it's
thing.
not the word, but
It's
yeah.
not the word, but it's like we're very used to like games running at a decent frame rate.
Got a little too comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like obviously going back into stories too and like seeing like some scenes that or like, leaving the village and suddenly it's like tanking a little bit. It's like it can definitely make some people like cringe a little bit and kind of like, ooh.
Literal cringe. That's like literal
Yeah.
cringe right there. Yeah. Not like oh, this is so anime cringy. But no, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Like
It's
for
like,
me
oh.
personally, I'm able
What's
to
wrong
look
with
over it.
anime, Tan?
Like for me, I'm able to look past it and like still enjoy the
Hmm.
game.
Mhm.
But I can totally see why like people would immediately go for the PC version.
Yeah, which
Um
is it's good because like I got the PC version. That's what I'm playing on. So it's good to have like these different perspectives from a
yeah.
Switch player and a PC player. So like for me, I got it on PC mainly for the so like when I decided to make the purchase on PC, I didn't know about the frame rate issue. I was doing it mostly for load times on like an SSD because
Yeah. That's
um
fair.
yeah, like I can't imagine going from the village out to like the large open world of stories too. I don't know how long. How long would you say it was loading for you?
Really doesn't take long.
Okay.
Like it's actually really short.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I see that you've kind of learned from a world.
Yeah,
Remember how I
no,
could
it's like
call
God.
my mom in the 5
Yeah.
minutes
go
that
make
the
a
Where-
game was
sandwich
not
trying to
loading.
get into the guiding lands. Just like,
Literally,
yeah.
where it's like I gotta like podcast if I'm streaming that game
Mhm.
because it's like there's nothing happening, so you just cycle through all the tips
Yeah.
like 10 times.
Yeah, no, but I've been playing on PC and I've been playing on 144 hertz monitor, 144 frames per second, 1080p, and it looks great. It looks great. And I am like that type of person to be like, if a game runs for it, like I said before with Age of Calamity, like I'm sorry, I don't like. The game runs objectively bad on the Switch, and Koei Tecmo has always been bad with like Switch optimization in general. And different people have different tolerances for that sort of thing. I feel like when I was like in high school or something, I would just play whatever I could get. So it never really like occurred to me that I was playing these games that were just like chugging, but like I more so saw it as like a funny thing. It's like, oh my god, the game's like it's like game's like dying. Oh my god, that's like really cool. And then it's like, but now I don't know. I kind of hold myself to like a baseline standard for optimization in games. So like I just want to play the best version available, and the best version for this one is the PC version in my eyes, and it looks great. It looks great. As far as like gameplay goes, I've played a lot of Pokemon in my life. I haven't played Sword and Shield, but
Any favorites though?
my favorite bar none is Heart Gold and Soul Silver. The remakes of the second generation games, yeah, it's oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Like
Are you getting the double pack by the way for that?
No, I got
Diamond
Soul
Crown?
Silver and my brother got Heart Gold. That's how we usually did it because I grew up with a brother that played Pokemon with me. So it's like I would get Silver, he would get Gold. I would get Sapphire, he would get Ruby. He always got the first one.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute though.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, we don't really play Pokemon much anymore because
Together,
I've fallen out of love with Pokemon really hard. Like the last one I played seriously, I think was Black and White, or I should say like White. To be more accurate, but I think it's like the lack of innovation in Pokemon, and every time they make like a new interesting thing, like they add a new interesting mechanic, like Pokemon contests, take out the next game, day night cycles, or like seasonal cycles, take it out of the next game, sky battles, take it out of the next game, rotation battles, take it out of the next game, even things like. Yeah, even things like Mega Evolution, which I think isn't even in Sword and Shield, right?
Dynamaxing. We're Dynamaxing.
Yeah, no, it's just like
the...
no, yeah. Instead of making a cool, new, interesting model, we just make the Pokemon big.
Oh, you know
like,
what, man? We don't have Hunter Arts. We have freaking Wire. It's the same idea, dude. Just reinventing it. At least for
it's mostly due to Pokemon's development cycle. I've talked about this before on my stream. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast, but like because Pokemon's such like a large Pokemon's more than just video games. It's like this big, large media enterprise of like shows, trading card game, mobile games, video console games, like all these types of stuff, the anime and movies. Everything is released on like a strict schedule, and there's no compromising or deviating from it. So that's why Game Freak is like worked. Like probably like in some pretty like I don't admire the position that Game Freak's in. Because the Pokemon Company has them like, hey, you got to release these games in November, no delays allowed, which is probably why you see all those cut corners in Sword and Shield. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, right? Like I heard that there were a few things in that game that people were like,
Maybe. I don't know. I think people generally like those ones though, right?
In Shield, I felt like they were reusing a lot of the animations or something. Apparently,
yeah.
Like there weren't a lot of unique animations, and everything was kind of meh.
Yeah,
all
and
around.
I think, like with the pre-release of that, they were saying the reason why they didn't have every Pokemon was because they had to remake the models, but then that was found out to be not true. They made like originally the 3D models were made for X and Y. Is that it? I think that's when they first started using 3D models in the mainline games was X and Y. But those battles, like if you look at the battles in X and Y and Sun and Moon, they ran like shit because those models had so many polygons to them because they wanted to future-proof them. They wanted to be like, all right, we're only gonna be adding more and more Pokemon. We're like closing in on 1,000 Pokemon now. That's a lot of 3D assets. If Pokemon wants to continue using 3D models, they have to make like all those assets. So that's why they made sure to future-proof them and make them like, like overmake them almost on the 3DS so that they could be like, all right, so that we don't have to touch these models. We can just keep using them until the end of time.
Yeah. I mean, I played Ultra Sun all the way through, and I don't know, like the battles were they were pretty nice.
Well, like that's not even like my main concern right now. The talking point was that they said they had to remake the models in Sword and Shield, which isn't true. Like that's the reason you made those high polygon models was that so you could eventually make it console and have like really nice models. But then they were like, hey, we can't have all the Pokemon now because we have to do so much work in the remaking of the models. And it's like, well, no, you didn't. You just like used the same models, which you should have, by the way. Like that's no problem. Use the same models, yes. So that's not as much of a workload for you, you know?
They're trying to go above and beyond for no reason.
Well, it's like I don't even know if they remade them. I think that was just like an excuse they were making up for why all the Pokemon weren't there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well.
But I mean, it's refreshing to play Stories 2 and see like all these really cool, well-animated monsters. Or I'm sorry, Monsties. I hate that so much.
It's a cute name.
It's so fucking stupid. Name. I hate it so much. I hate it. I hate it so much. Monsties. This is my Monstie. Like, oh my god. They should have called them something else other than Monsties.
It's Monstie Hunter.
It's like when you're a kid, you call it a doggy. When you're an adult, you call it a dog, but you'd still call it a doggy.
Okay, but when I've got like my huge like Brachydiosa, I'm gonna
it will still be a doggy, bro. It's still the same. Your cat, your dog will always be the tiny little cat or dog that you got.
Maybe it's because I haven't really like had pets growing up. I don't know. But
you
like
had Pokemon, you know this.
Yeah, but I don't call them like Pokemon or Pokemon. That's what they're called. They don't call them animals.
That'd be stupid. You wouldn't call them Pokies.
We already established that they're called monsters and Monster Hunter. You know, like I don't know. Or they should have called them like if they wanted to have a differentiating name between like monsters that you ride and monsters that are out in the wild that you kill. They should call them like I don't know, like kinship monsters or something. Or like Monkin. I would have like preferred something dumb like that. Munchkin. But like I don't know, Monsties is just like it's a bit too corny for me.
It's my munch move.
Like all those kinship attacks that make no sense. I'm fine with those. I love those. Yeah. But like I draw the line at Monstie.
Real quick though, did you know that one move in the demo? We did like some cross move.
Oh yeah, with the Velocidromes,
and there was just explosions and
no, like a Velocidrome.
Yeah,
a Velocidrome dropping a literal nuke on this Banabra. I'm totally okay with.
I was like,
I'm okay with that.
It was crazy. What I don't know this game anymore.
I unironically, legitimately draw the line at Monstie though. That's where I'm just like, okay, that's okay.
Honestly, watching some of the kinship moves, it was just like I was like, this is so anime.
Yeah, I love it.
For no reason. It was so.
I love those kinship moves.
I love the Kulu kinship move. It's so cool.
I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen that one yet either.
Okay, then
I'm really salty that like I ended up watching and this was years ago. I ended up watching a compilation of all the Stories 1 kinship moves because apparently a lot of those are carried over into Stories 2. I don't remember a lot of them, but I remember the Brachydios one, and I wish I hadn't watched it because I would have loved to have seen it in Stories 2.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see all of these new kinship moves and just like the new monsters in general. I gotta stop opening up streams and like
Well, I mean,
seeing these monsters in the game because it's like, God damn it!
Capcom's not really helping either by just having like these trailers where it's just like, oh,
I
here's
know.
a bunch of new Elder Dragons you can ride. And I'm like, oh my fucking
Like,
stop!
Christ,
Roadmap
it's
is
so
pretty
much.
nuts too.
Oh yeah,
The roadmap says so
wild.
much.
I mean, you
It's
guys have
like
seen the roadmap,
20
right?
times better than I didn't expect to, but I scrolled across and I went.
Well, it's like, here's the thing. It's
my
like
heart sank. I was like, "Why?
That's
This is not fair."
That's another
I
thing,
know.
and I'd like to get you guys' thoughts on this. As that's the other thing is that when they dropped the roadmap for Stories 2, people's immediate reaction was looking at Rises and being like, "Why can't you be like this, huh?" And I'm like, "Well, these aren't even comparable. These are totally different games.
Yeah.
These are totally different. They play completely differently. The gameplay loop is completely different. These are totally different games. The AI doesn't work nearly as complex as like Stories 2. And the thing about the Stories 2 roadmap is like those aren't even new. Those are just deviants. They're reskins of the monsters with the same kinship moves. It's like, what are people doing trying to compare them? Being like Stories 2 roadmap is so much better than Rises. I'm like,
hear me out. We don't have that.
Don't take
That's the complaint.
And I don't want people to take this as like me defending Rise's roadmap because I still think it's like kind of weak. But like they're not comparable. Like they're totally completely different games. It's like what do you do? Like there are plenty of reasons. There are plenty of ways you can bash on Rise's roadmap without bringing Stories 2 roadmap into it. You know, it's like
I only bring it up because, like, seeing the drastic difference, though, it kind of hurt knowing that this game will have significantly more content. Even if it's, like, say, those reskins and stuff. We have, like, collabs and stuff on the way, sure.
Yeah.
But we had to wait, like, entire months before we get one event quest versus all the different stuff that is, like, in store that look like it'll be more fun for Stories. It just sucks because I wish that they said, oh, hey, this month, new monster, this month, old monster, this month, like, more layered crap, not just like, oh hey, this month without even announcing this, we're just gonna give you more titles and then just hope that you're okay with that. It's been kind of like it's been weak on like delivery because big release for the game and we're just like, oh my god, we're all gonna play it, and then we get like half a game, we wait 2 months for the one last quest to finish the game, which I happily would have waited 2 more months if that quest meant to be there, and then whatever I could wait for event quests. It just felt different when you want more stuff from it versus when we saw the Stories one, we were like, you already have hopefully a full fleshed out story. And on top of that, I feel like there's just more that they're going to do, but I know it's a different game. I have to wait to play the whole thing before I really get a good opinion on it. This one's just kind of
right. I kind of feel like, and Forrest, I want to get your thoughts on this. I kind of feel like, because I just thought of this now, I kind of feel like I hope that the release of Stories 2 isn't creating some sort of resentment against it with the player base, because like people might get the idea of like
hating Rise or something, or?
No, like hating Stories 2 because it's like, well, did Rise get neglected because so much of Capcom's budget was pushed towards Stories 2?
As I see it, is like Rise is like the older brother and Stories is like the little brother, that like Capcom is like the parents and putting all of their focus into Stories right now. And like Rise is
so you're
kind
saying
of like
there's a favorite.
Pretty much.
I wouldn't say that. I think it's more like
I think it's just more of like currently they want to focus on Stories because it's the newest release, but it's not like they're forgetting about Rise. There's still going to be content to come out for it, I'm sure. Maybe not currently. Maybe not in the near future, but
because the current marketing push is Stories 2, because that's like the new kid on the block right now. That's the new release.
Exactly, that's the shiny new object that people get to play with.
And it's also really indicative in the way they were doing those digital events, like those Monster Hunter Directs or whatever. Like I think all of them were like split between Stories 2 and Rise, right? Like they didn't have one that was totally dedicated to Rise, did they?
No.
I don't remember. I thought there was just like in the beginning there was only talk of Rise, and then they started incorporating Stories afterwards. So like there might have been 1 or 2 that was just Rise, and then they started announcing more stories.
Well, Rise and Stories 2 were revealed on the same day, literally like back to back. They were revealed.
Were they?
But were the future directs and stuff like? I thought they were more geared towards Stories. I mean, Rise than Stories at the start.
I think they definitely had more
And
to
then they
talk
started
about
really
with
pumping out
Rise,
more
but
with
then
Stories. But
yeah,
it's
I
just
think
the
they
same
had
trailer released like 3 times. Was that not?
Well, no, I'm pretty sure they were like like maybe not exactly down the middle. It was like it started
Yeah.
probably like 25% Stories 2 and then 75% Rise in those directs, but then like it started shifting.
Yeah,
as,
something like
one-
that. Yeah, that's what I remember. I thought it was mostly Rise at the start and then more Stories, but I don't remember if they were giving it like a 50-50 at some point.
I think it's
I
really
just remember not
encouraging.
being super impressed with it unless well the most recent one where they were like, oh hey, pants and shades, and that was it. I was like, thanks.
You know what's
I'm
funny
still waiting
though
for my shades.
is that I think so. I was saying how I was afraid people were gonna resent Stories 2, but actually I think it's kind of the other way around right now, isn't it?
It would
Actually,
be more mad about Rise than Stories.
Yeah, I think they're being more mad about Rise than Stories 2, and I'm like, well, this is certainly a surprise,
I
right?
feel like once more content starts coming out for Stories 2, people are definitely gonna start to feel a little bit like, all right, where's my Rise update? You know?
Right. Yeah.
But currently, I think people are just trying to enjoy the game.
Yeah.
Isn't it
yeah.
weird thinking about it though that there's 2 Monster Hunter games going back to back, like competing with itself? Because normally we have 3, then 3U, 4, then 4U, Gen,
Yeah.
then GU, World, then Iceborne. We've always had it. Okay, this is the Monster Hunter game.
Well,
It
and
wasn't
thi-
necessarily
It's
GU
definitely
versus
weird.
World or anything.
And it's a result of Monster Hunter as a brand becoming bigger. This is the biggest
Yeah.
Monster Hunter's ever been ever since World came out. Because before
Oh, yeah.
World,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Monster Hunter, like not many people knew. World became Capcom's best-selling game of all time, outselling every version of Street Fighter 2, which is like fucking what the fuck. But
Yeah.
Monster Hunter as a brand is a lot stronger than it was before, so it makes sense that Capcom wants to push these other side projects to the forefront as well. So like
Yeah,
Stories was like a
yeah.
fun side venture, but it never really, like it was only on the 3DS. It didn't get much fanfare. It didn't sell that well. But then like with Stories 2, they're like, all right, we're on the map with Monster Hunter now. So let's
But I mean, I think what we also need to remember is Monster Hunter Rise is a part of the main game series.
Yeah.
Stories is meant to be seen as kind of like a spin-off in a way, or like kind of like a side game or whatever.
Mhm.
But kind of what's confusing is they're certainly treating Stories as a main series game. It's got
Yeah.
a roadmap and everything, and like future updates.
I think this is
So-
a I think
It
this is
feels
a
like they're just
direction.
giving them both effort, which is what makes it kind of hard on getting
gonna
both of them
strain-
up to snuff.
Well,
Because there's
and-
always going to be people
Yeah.
that complain,
Yeah,
though.
and this is
It's
going to be
gonna strain
scary for
Capcom.
this is going to be scary to hear for a lot of Monster Hunter fans, I think. But like, I think what Capcom is trying to do with Monster Hunter moving forward is Monster Hunter isn't just about the monster hunting games anymore. It's about the brand itself, Monster Hunter. So what can we
Yeah.
do? Monster Hunter, the core series will always exist, certainly. They're never going to ditch the core series of Monster Hunter, but expect to see more Stories games, maybe more mobile games, maybe other
I
spin-off
could see
games
this
like
a mobile game, though. Like, Stories going on mobile,
Well-
like Stories 2. That'd be kind of cool.
well, yeah,
I wouldn't mind
Monster
having,
Hunter
like, my own little easy version of it. That'd be kind of nice.
Monster Hunter has had a handful of
Yeah.
mobile games as
Yeah.
well. But like
I think it's
other other
right?
types of spin-off games, like who knows? Like I was saying this on my stream is that I think a Monster Hunter rhythm game would be really cool. Because well, it's like the thing is like you have a
punching the crap out of a rat.
you have a music based weapon already in Hunting Horn.
Yeah.
The series as a whole has like a whole list of like all kinds of bangers. It's like I don't know. It'd be nice if it was like if it got like a theater rhythm treatment from Final Fantasy,
True.
because like Final Fantasy theater rhythm is like phenomenal.
You know what we need, though? We need Monster Hunter VR, bro. That's what we
No.
need. That we
Would you
need-
play?
we
Would
need
you be
the-
a hunter or would you
we
be a
need the
monster?
spin to win, bro. Oh my
Dude,
God.
That's
when I
a good
was-
question.
No. When I
That would
was
be
playing,
nuts.
on my channel, how you can pay to make me zoom in on my game. That's
No,
basically
no.
first person, and it feels horrifying.
Well, it's gonna be
Yeah,
it's gonna
I
be
will go.
like a Rathalos with a bunch of canned animation just standing in place. And then what you got to do is like dodge left or right and then hit it when it's open. It's like it's not gonna be a genuine Monster Hunter experience in VR.
It would
No,
be
but
fun, though.
kinda-
It would be fun having something different like that. Even if it's not like They don't even have to put like the most effort into that type of game. I think it would just be kind of fun just to be like, haha, yeah, that'll be kind of neat, right, guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be something
Well,
that they do. Like I don't know.
kind of what I would like with the rhythm part of it. Like, so in Splatoon, you basically you have your full game,
Hmm.
but there's actually this little section in the main plaza where you can run off and do like this little rhythm part with like the music. It's a lot of fun to do, actually. You don't really get any rewards for it, but what if like Capcom did something similar to that, where it's like you have your main game, but then you can also do like rhythm on the
Within the
side.
main game, you mean?
Yeah, because like
Like
even
okay.
in I think it's Splatoon 1. I never played it, but like I think in the loading menu, kind of like when you're in the queue to play a game,
Hmm.
you were able to do a rhythm game there. I don't know why they took it out of Splatoon 2, but like um yeah, no, it made the loading times like a lot, more fun, more enjoyable.
Right.
So, I don't know. It'd be kind of cool if like Capcom kind of did something like that where it's like, you know, you
Yeah.
could like branch off and do that for a little bit. Maybe get like a trophy here and there or whatever, you
You
know?
know what would happen though? So this is the scenario that would happen is next year, let's say like next year sometime in the spring, they announce Monster Hunter Beats and it's like a rhythm game for Monster Hunter. You know what's going to happen? People are going to
Mm,
be like, "Where's Rise Ultimate? Where's Monster Hunter
yeah.
6? Where's
Yeah,
yeah. That's going to
People are
happen
all
every time.
people are
that would
already
be
like that,
something.
Yeah.
where
Um
they're like, "Where's Rise Ultimate?" It's like,
yeah.
"Wait,
I mean, you could
have
see
some
it in
patience."
like you can see it in like reactions that people had to the stories to uh roadmap was
Oh
like, why
yeah.
aren't these monsters in Rise? Why are it's like, oh
I
yeah,
mean,
no, this is gonna happen every time.
even the like ratio for like the events coming out, like that event video.
Oh yeah, I think it was a lot worse with the Japanese video.
Yeah, it was like
But what event
50%.
video?
For so like at E3 when Capcom released that Rise trailer that was like just hey, here's our event quests that we're pumping out for like the next 2 months or so. If you look at the Japanese video for that, the like to dislike ratio is like 50-50. People aren't
Yeah.
happy about that, but I think this is a trend of like, I think Stories 2 and Rise were probably in development. They were definitely in development at the same time. I don't know if they started development at the same time. Stories 2 probably started development after Rise, um, which is probably why you won't see any Rise monsters in Stories 2. If there are Rise monsters in Stories 2, then I'll eat my own words, but I'm guaranteeing you right now, you're probably not going to see any. Like, the Palamute is a post-release thing,
Yeah.
and that's not like a monster that they had to, like, it's just like a
Ooh,
Palamute,